On November 23, 1876, Boss Tweed, the man who once controlled New York City's Tammany Hall political machine, was delivered back to New York authorities after being captured in Spain and shipped across the Atlantic on the USS Franklin. But what were Boss Tweed's crimes? And how did cartoons lead to his downfall? Twice. William Major Tweed rose from volunteer fireman and local politician to the most powerful figure in Tammany Hall, New York City's democratic political machine. By the mid-1860s, he led the Tweed Ring, a tight circle of allies who controlled city contracts, courts, and key offices. The Tweed Ring openly bought votes, corrupted judges, and siphoned off tens of millions of dollars through padded bills, fake contracts, and inflated projects. The symbol of their greed was the New York County Courthouse. Expected to cost hundreds of thousands, it exploded into many millions, much of it flowing into Tweed's pockets. Today, the building is still known as the Tweed Courthouse. Political cartoonist Thomas Nast of the New York Times and Harper's Weekly finally exposed the scale of the theft. Nast's savage cartoons turned Tweed into the face of urban corruption. As Tweed himself said, "I don't give a straw for your newspaper articles. Most of my voters can't read, but they can't help seeing them damned pictures." Tweed was tried for fraud and larceny in 1873, convicted on hundreds of counts, fined, and sentenced to 12 years in prison. His sentence, though, was later reduced to just 1 year. Rearrested on civil charges, he was confined to Ludlow Street Jail, where he was allowed carriage rides in Central Park and visits to his Madison Avenue mansion. In December 1875, during one of those home visits, Tweed simply disappeared. He fled through New Jersey and Florida, then to Cuba, and finally to Vigo, Spain. Spanish authorities recognized him from this Thomas Nast cartoon, and with a reward on his head, agreed to send him back. So, in 1876, the former boss returned to New York not as a kingmaker, but as a prisoner. Back in Ludlow Street Jail, Tweed tried to bargain by confessing his crimes, but remained imprisoned until his death in 1878 at age 55. Today, Boss Tweed's name is shorthand for political corruption, a reminder that when one man controls the machine, an entire city can pay the price. Tweed's story also shows how a free press can expose corruption and bring about change. Here are other events that happened today in history. In 1859, Old West outlaw Billy the Kid is born in a poor Irish neighborhood in New York City. In 1936, the first issue of influential weekly pictorial magazine Life is published. In 1940, Romania signs the Tripartite Pact, becoming an official ally of the Axis powers. In 1991, a day before his death, Queen frontman Freddie Mercury confirms that he has AIDS. In 2002, John Harrington of the Chickasaw Nation becomes the first Native American in space. In 2020, the first ever all-black crew, led by referee Jerome Boger, officiates an NFL game. In 2023, pro-Palestinian protesters disrupt New York City's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And now it's time for our Today in History quiz. Who hijacked a passenger jet and then parachuted with the ransom money in 1971? D.B. Cooper, J.R. Walsh, B.J. Thomas, or T.D. Jakes? Liked learning about Boss Tweed? Then you'll enjoy this other New York City story about a Wall Street bombing. Tap the screen to keep the story going on Today in History.